So let's take a look at Chapter 1-1, Economics, and review some of the terms in preparation for our test that's coming up. We'll just go through some of these cards. So our first one here, 3 basic economic questions that every modern economy must answer. What are we going to produce? What are we going to make? How are we going to do it? Are we going to use a lot of technology? We're going to use a lot of labor? Where are we going to do it? So on and so forth. And number 3, for whom to produce. Who's going to receive the benefits of that which we produce as a country? The fundamental economic problem. This is the basic problem that affects every economy. It affects every person, is that we just don't have enough stuff to do everything that we want to do, and that is known as scarcity. If you want to remember how to spell that, Scarcity. Scarcity. The fundamental economic problem. 4 factors of production. These are the basic resources that are necessary to produce something within an economy. And so you've got land, you've got capital, which would be tools and equipment, and also money, known as financial capital, in order to build things. You've got to invest money in order to produce something. Labor, that would be, as we talked about in class, employment, and more specifically, we talked about unemployment. And then you have entrepreneurs, and these would be the people who are the risk takers, those individuals, those men and women who strike out on their own and build a business, become the boss, hire people, and produce products for the rest of the consumers. Capital, we talked about that. That's your tools of production. Machinery, factories used in production of goods and services. Scarcity, not having enough stuff. This is a condition that results from not having enough stuff to meet all of our needs, wants, all the things that we would like to have. A need, food, clothing, shelter, water, basics for survival. There it is, basics for survival. Needs. Economics. Economics basically is the study of how people make decisions on what to do with their money. The decisions they make to meet their needs and wants. So it's a social science because it deals with studying people and their decision making. And so at the core, it's quite simple, but it gets very complicated. Wants are those things that make life more enjoyable. Another way of expressing a need. Needs and wants, and it's different for different people. What is a need to some people is merely a want for others. Tinstoffel, we talked about this quite a bit. Acronym, there is no such thing as a free lunch, and that's where we talked about that. Just everything has a cost. Somebody pays at some point or another. Something may seem to be free, but somewhere, somehow, someone is paying. Land, these would be all the gifts of nature, things that are not created by humans. Land, trees in the forest, air, mining, iron ore. These are all come under the category of land. Petroleum, used to produce a gasoline. Financial capital is the money that is used in order to build factories and to purchase the tools and equipment necessary for production. And the factors of production, these are the resources required to make things, and there were the 4 factors of production that we talked about: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurs. Labor, of course, is the talents of all the human beings working to produce products and services. Labor. Entrepreneur, the risk takers, seeking profits and taking the risk to build businesses. Very important people. That's the VIP. They're economic, very important people. Some of your classic entrepreneurs would be like Henry Ford. from Ford Motor Corporation. Production. Production is the creating of goods and services, whether it be making cars or refining oil. And our last one, gross domestic product. Now this is a way to measure the output within a country. And so the definition, dollar value of all final goods that are produced within a country's borders. And so when you measure things like this, and this is within a year, gross domestic product, GDP, is that if you measure it the same for all countries throughout the world, then it's a way that you can compare one country to another, and you can compare within a country 1 year to the next year if you use the same method each year, so that we can determine whether or not there is economic growth. And so that's Quizlet for Chapter 1-1. Go ahead and practice that. Be sure to take advantage of the tests that are available. And the simplest ones to do to start with are the multiple choice. Oops. So we turn those off, and now I just have multiple choice, create new test. And so those give you a lot of prompts. And then the next one that I would recommend is go up to matching and try that. And then true false after that. And then to me, the most challenging would be the written version of that. So if you do all of those, you will be ready for the Chapter 1-1 test.